It's the day we all been waiting for. Hidden hardware time, baby. So pretty much everything's pretty much set. It's been sitting like this for a long time since I had a little rust here. I think I got the majority of my bolts pretty much grinded down. It's kind of flat, so insert through. It's not gonna stick out. So this one right here is pretty flat. So now it's time to do the hidden hardware. So it's gonna be kind of complicated because I might do this part separately. I'm gonna have a bolt behind here. But if I do it now, it might not stick because it's gonna float. So I'm gonna have to remove this piece, flip it upside down, and then glue it on. So that means this one and this one will probably have to do that another day. Maybe when I do the rears, I might try to tackle this. But I guess for now, I want to run this piece for a little bit because this gap is like horrendous. So we're gonna see how it's gonna work. So with that enough said, let's go ahead and start prepping this for the hidden hardware. For material wise, I wanted to use the panel bond, but I heard that this is better. So he let me try to have both to try, but then this also expires. Like this was made in 2022 January. You can see, so that last us 2 years. So I gotta use this now. See, please best use within 24 months of manufacture date. See that? So I'm gonna use this one first. For the front, I wanted to use panel bond first because this is like faster pace, and I wanted to do the rears with this one because if I mess up on the fronts, I can at least remove it and everything, but the rears is really complicated to remove. But with time and everything and expiration date, I gotta use this one first, which sucks because I didn't want to, but I guess we have to play around with it. So he gave me this one for free, so it's really nice for me to have and play. So that's probably why he gave it to me for free. It sounds like something that's loose in here too. So yeah, let's go ahead. Everything prepped, and I think he gave me some adhesive promoters. He gave me a bunch of tips too. Here's thanks to him. And look at this, a lot of tips. Yeah, I do like some good tips. Give me some sandpaper. I think he gave me, I must have put it somewhere up right here. Adhesive promoters. I might spray some real quick on here, just like a quick spray. Never used this before. I was gonna use just rubbing alcohol, but my husband hit it with some spray. I'm gonna probably do these bolts last, so because it's holding up how I want it to sit, so I can put these bolts in, and we'll go from there. So to start, I'm gonna go ahead and find the most grittiest sandpaper I can find, and just sand this part around as best I can, as well as the face of the nut, so it gets something that adheses onto. Because what I'm going to do is pretty much bolt everything up, make it really loose, and then go from behind, pick it up, put some adhesive behind it, push it in, put some adhesive on top, and then hair tighten from the back. I'm going to do it for every single one. I think the reason why he said panel bond was best because like you have a long working time. It's like an hour and a half. And every time you have to waste a tip every single time that it dries out. And I believe that this one has like a, let's see, a 3-minute working time. So I was like, I'm gonna use a lot of tips just for this piece. So yeah, like I said, I might try to do it really quick. So if you see me going really fast, I'm just trying to avoid that working time to dry out. So because if it dries out, I have to change the tip. And I used like a really fast 3M one. I think I have it over here. It was like stupid fast, like right here. Let me see, working time was, 20 seconds, and it actually dried out in like 20 seconds. So it's insanely quick. So stuff's no joke. But I'm gonna go ahead and sand this down with the most grittiest sandpaper I can find, use some adhesive promoter, and go from there. Found some 40 grit, so I'm gonna start with some 40 grit. All right, try to skip all the boring part and got all the bolts pretty much loose a little bit. Like you can stick your hand up in here and lift it up, you see? You can move it around. It's not focusing, but I got on both sides, sanded everything. Forgot to spray the adhesive, so I'm gonna go ahead, adhesive promoter, I'm just gonna tape everything up, spray it real quick, wipe it down, and go ahead and use the epoxy. I said I let it sit for about 10 minutes. It gotten pretty dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and wait 10 minutes, and then I don't know if I did this right, but I'm gonna let it sit 10 minutes, probably get a water break. Now I'm probably gonna start mixing the epoxy. Just went ahead and opened it. This is what it looks like. This is probably the good stuff, but I just wanted the slower stuff because I'm slow. Came with 2 tips, which is really cool. So I just kind of want to, I don't know how to use this, to be honest, but. Alright, after you open it, you want to remove the safety pin. So just got a little squeeze out. You got the stuff mixing. There it goes. See, both sides removed. Simply just screw it on. Alright, ready to mix. The tip is in. Right there. Remove the safety parts. I'm gonna put that once we're done with it. I'm gonna go ahead and you want to use a two cartridge gun. Go ahead and shoot about, let it mix a little bit. You want to mix like an inch bead at the very end. I got the top. I'm just gonna shoot it out and then start applying. Got one by 3M. Good friend of mine's let me borrow it. All right, slide that sucker in. All right, and we're ready. Okay. Towel, shoot, okay. Like I said before, I'm gonna shoot about a inch bead, start applying. So I might go kind of fast. If I do, I apologize, but hopefully y'all can see good what I'm gonna be doing. So I'm gonna go really quick, pretty quick, because this thing has a 3-minute working time. So I gotta work fast. So worst case scenario, I'll put a voiceover. So I think I broke it a little bit because it's still oozing out. I was kind of like forcing it out. So I think you can take a little bit longer than 3 minutes, but I put a lot. That's why I realized it's oozing out a lot. So while I have a chance, I'm gonna go ahead and just, while this tip is still oozing out, I'm gonna let it keep oozing out and then go ahead and just tackle the other side. So I can just use one tip for both sides. That'd be pretty cool. Hopefully this is right because it's still oozing out. So I don't know if I broke the tip or what, because that's 3-minute working time. But we're just gonna let this sit for about 24 hours. I'll check this tomorrow after I get off work and just see how it dried up. So fingers crossed it worked. Man, this is still oozing out. So it said 3-minute working time, but I don't know if I broke it or what, or hopefully it's still effective. This is pretty nice. If this is actually longer than I thought it was. So dropped some on the floor earlier and it stayed on my floor. Let me show you. Made a little black spot on my floor. So hope that goes away. Big old blob there. Oops. But pretty satisfied how it worked. And just tighten everything down, put everything around, put extra on top just in case. And fingers crossed it dries really good and stays on really good. So like I said, I want to use the panel bond, but I heard this stuff is really a lot better. But it's still oozing. I don't know if I did it right. Hopefully I did. Hopefully it's still mixing good. Because it says 3 minutes working time, so see, paint time, sand time, and working time is 3 minutes. So it's supposed to dry in 3 minutes. And I can't use this tip anymore, but it's still oozing out. I kind of forced it, so I don't know if I broke anything, but I can wait for this thing to dry up so I can put this seal cap back on. So I guess I'm gonna have to let it drip overnight, I guess, and go from there. Because, I mean, I think it's stopped right now, I think. Maybe it's stopping right now, so oh, maybe not. But I'm gonna let that sit overnight. Let everything sit overnight, and then I'm gonna deal with it tomorrow. Luckily, I put that tape on because some of it got onto the paint. I don't want that epoxy on the paint. It's pretty sticky, so I got some fell on the bottom bumper right here, but I gotta sand that anyway, so I just hope, fingers crossed, tomorrow it'll be on good and holding good. I might put some more on this one right here. It's kind of low, so. Okay, well, like I said, check out back in tomorrow. Well, duh. I went ahead and just released that pressure right there, and now stop dripping. So, just gonna let it dry, and hope these turns out good.
Tomorrow.
So it's been 24 hours and I don't know what happened, you guys. So you guys know I did these like first, and these are like rock solid. But for some reason, this one is like dripping wet. So I gotta redo that one. But it's okay. I'm not mad about it because I gotta do this one as well as a side piece anyways. So I gotta re-hit it anyways. So I'm just gonna put it flat, like off the car, and hope that it, ooh, got a little bit on my finger. I guess one of these are wet too. And I hope it dries. And I think one of these are wet too. I gotta figure out which one it was. So it's probably a little bit of wet ones out here. There's a few of them. But as long as it's majority of it's dry, like this one, the majority of it's dry. Well, maybe a little bit. So I guess maybe it didn't mix well or something. I don't know. Maybe it's the one I put on top of it. It didn't mix well. Regardless, this one is like not even hard at all. But the driver's side, all of it, it looks like it's pretty hard. So a little sticky. So I guess I didn't let it sit out or squeeze enough out to begin with. But regardless, I could do it off the car. One of them is not bad. I just didn't want to do it off the car because sometimes the angle isn't right. So I'm going to have to gamble on this one and hope that the angle is right. If not, I can, you know, it's just the fender. I can always just drill the bigger hole or something. One won't kill the end of the world, so it's not bad. The rear is a little bit tricky because if I mess up, then the water's going to go in the car, which is not good because it causes rust. But this one is just the front, so it's not bad. But let's go ahead and move this kit off the car. Probably go ahead and start sanding it, put some body filler on, and call it a day. So as you can see, nothing sticked on the passenger side. Only one did. So I don't know what happened. I think I might have put too much, cause like the top seemed to be wet, but like everything was intact. So I don't know. So, but maybe I just didn't squeeze enough out. So, but it's okay. I might just try and do it off the car maybe and just hope for the best and maybe drill bigger holes if need be for the front, because like I said, the fronts don't get wet anyways, so I'm not big deal about it. So, but we'll see. Let's go move to the passenger driver's side, the good side hopefully, and see if it doesn't break anything. But that's practically a fail, and the mess that it made was even worse. So look at that. Like, it hardened, but I don't know, it's still wet at the same time, so I don't know. First time using it, I'm not a bodywork guy, I don't have any experience, so we'll see. So I didn't lose as much on this side. Apparently when I was removing the kit too, I guess it also broke it. Maybe I put too much and it wasn't bonding to the side. Like, it's sticking to the bolt fine, but like on these sides, it wasn't bonding to the kit. So, I mean, thankfully I'm doing it on the fronts because I can just drill the holes bigger and then just slap it on, you know, like no issue. But like, it's pretty sturdy and the bolts are pretty stuck on there. Looks like just the sides didn't stick onto the kit, which I guess is my fault for the preparation. So I guess the passenger side was more for me of not oozing enough, I guess. And the driver's side was, I guess, for me, just bad prep. But thankfully I'm doing the fronts first because I could just drill the holes bigger and then just stick this, put these bolts back on the car, well, put on the kit off the car. So it's not the end of the world. So, but see, like it's stuck on here too. Like you can see, shake it, it's not moving. So I think I have the one in the corner was shaking a little bit. This one, it's moving a little, has a little bit of play. I might just try to pry that out, and then I don't want it to be that loose whenever I do the actual hidden hardware and actually break when it gets painted. So lucky I'm doing this now, but man, my garage is a mess. Really hate it, but live and you learn. All right, at least this is more of a successful side, but I have to like this for a little bit. Stock body. All right, well, I'll check back in once I try prepping this kit again to do it again. Luckily, like I said, the driver's side wasn't that bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The whole passenger side didn't work, so. But this one at least has, some of them was good, so. But, like I said, I gotta use another tip anyways. Gotta practice, live and learn. Enjoy the process. So, just went ahead and redid it. Learned from my mistakes. I just sanded everything with 40 grit with the machine. And then when I applied, I wiped everything alcohol. I applied the adhesive promoter and just let it sit. Didn't wipe it out, and I sprayed like I shot like a bunch of the epoxy before I even touched it. I noticed that the passenger side was dry more than the passenger side. So I think that maybe whenever I was trying to apply it and dry it, that the top layer was the dry one, but the bottom one was still wet. I didn't apply enough. I shot like I think an inch or so, or maybe like 3 inches prior. So now I shot like a bunch of epoxy before applying, and it looks extremely promising. Like it's already pretty hard already, and so I'm really excited, and hopefully it works. And I haven't got these going on, so I won't waste a tip. Apply these on, and look at this. Like, see? Only sat for like maybe 10 minutes, and it's really dry. So, pretty happy. So, hope this is gonna be the results. As always, learn from your mistakes. Messed up once. Let's see if we can finish this second attempt. If not, we got plenty more to use. So, not the end of the world. Alright, let's give this another 24 hours and let's see if it dries all the way, and hope for the best. But like I was saying, it looks really promising. The only thing I really wish I didn't do was back here. You see this some epoxy on the bolt. So what I did was I applied it on first around the edge, put the bolt in, and some of the bolt caught the epoxy. So I'm really scared that the nuts won't go on. I tried screwing on the nuts right after, and this one just started swirling around. So I'm like, yeah, I don't want to risk it because it's pretty hardening, so I don't want to touch it. So I'm just gonna let it dry. And these, of course, this is the driver's side, so of course it has a lot more bolts. Fingers crossed that these work, but this one's mostly dry. But for the passenger side, everything's wet, so it's gonna be a lot more difficult than the driver's side. But the driver's side works. Then I know what to do for the passenger side. That's why I do the easy side first and the hard side last. Let's give it 24 hours. I'll check with you guys tomorrow. Prepping the passenger side, and it's still wet. So that's how you know it's definitely not right. Like right here, I can still practically wipe it away. So something definitely messed up on this hardening. Like I said, I think that's what I did. Didn't apply enough to pre-mix everything. I thought I applied enough, I guess not. So the bottom was soft, but the top was hard. So it ended up not hardening. That's what I think happened. But we'll see. If tomorrow doesn't work out, I don't know what I'll do. But like I said, it's trial and error. So I'm gonna put this piece for tomorrow, and fingers crossed that tomorrow over there works, so I can do this one tomorrow and finish the fronts. There is a downside with doing it off the car because the bolts could not align up with the fronts, but thankfully these are the fronts. I can drill the holes bigger and just let it slide in a little bit, and it should hopefully sit almost the same. I don't think I'm just gonna notice if it's a tad bit lower than how it used to sit, so no one's gonna notice that, but at least I can figure out what's happening with this, so I can do the rears, because the rears can't do the same, because this goes right to the trunk. It goes too big of a hole, water's gonna get in it, and then water's gonna sit in the trunk, which I don't want, and could rust on the inside. You definitely don't want that. Luckily, these are the fronts. I can test out first and see how it's gonna work and react, and we'll figure out the rears later on.
The next day.
Got good news and bad news. Good news, bolt is on. Not flexing, pulling on it, doesn't even move. Great. My dumb idea, because I put the epoxy on first and then put the bolt, the epoxy got into the nuts or the bolts. So sometimes it doesn't thread through. I use a wrench, turn the nut, use a wrench to go all the way up, and it does end up removing the epoxy, and it doesn't even break the epoxy here neither. So it's on strong. Pretty happy. Finally, some good news. So product's good. Just gotta ooze a bunch out. I'm gonna let it sit another day. Like, ooh, that was probably a little sticky right there. Nope, that's good actually. Probably sit another day, and then I'll start sanding it for the body filler. I'm just gonna double check, make sure everything's good, like the first time. Like I just kind of pull on the back of the nut right here. I kind of just wiggle it, and I see if I don't see any movements in the epoxy. So I know that the bottom didn't dry. And I don't see any movement at all, so that's very good news. So we're going in the right direction. So now I learned my lesson. This one I'm gonna put the bolts on first, and then do the epoxy, probably lift it up a little bit, put the epoxy on, push it down, so at least only maybe just the bottom part has a little bit epoxy. Even the piece that I put the nut on to test it, it doesn't move, which is good. So that's very, very good. So I'm pretty happy with it. Dried up pretty good. And now let's do it for this side. Finish this front. This side's the really ugly side. So I'm really happy. I'm excited. Like you saw, I'm really smiling really big because we're actually going the right direction now. So maybe for this piece, I might, let me see. Maybe I should throw it on the car like this and mount it together. But we'll see. It should just fit pretty good by itself, so I ain't worried about it. And I drilled a hole as well for this part, so we'll see. I already prepped this part from yesterday. Just gotta go prep this panel and do the same and hope it works the same. So let's go ahead, bring this outside and start prepping again. Got all the bolts sitting like last time. What I'm just gonna do is just gonna pick it up, put it around it, squeeze it down, just like before. Alright, wish me luck. I'm extremely nervous that this won't work because I almost ran out at the very end. Like, I have like that much left because this is where the black the pistons are right here. I have like super little left, so hopefully it mixes properly near the end. I started getting like really low around here, so I was like really worried. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it works. I'm gonna let it dry and see. So hopefully it works. I tried not to use as much on the top of the rest just because I was running low. So hopefully this will be enough. Fingers crossed. I'm really nervous. So hopefully these work. So I brought everything inside, and again, looks promising. It's not moving as much. Didn't get as much epoxy on the threads. Maybe just some from my glove. That's it. It's hard, and the best part, the last pieces, hard too. Ah, finally. Some good news. Hopefully, see, there's a little bit of, can't see, a little bit of epoxy on the thread. Whenever I used my glove, I kind of held it because I've got my hand, but after the same, like, this is only like an hour. It's a little bit sticky still. But this is like only like an hour after, maybe 30 minutes, so it's not bad. So, success, I think, hopefully. So, we gotta sand everything down and see if it actually stays. If not, then we're in trouble. I'm gonna let this sit about 2 days. That one's gonna sit a little longer, so I'm not gonna touch this for a while to let it fully cure. So, I don't know where I last left off, but we're gonna go a different route. Well, this side's practically the sanded side, but like, even for this example, it's just peeling up. This one's pretty good. Look, you see all these right here? All broke off. So, even this one's kind of loose. It's like soft a little bit. So, I don't know if I did it wrong. More likely I did. But I heard this stuff's supposed to be stronger than Panabon. So I originally ordered Panabon, but the person who I ordered it from, the shop, was so very kind and gave me that Foozer to try. Now, I don't know if it's the Foozer's about to expire or what it just was. So technically, that might be the reason why it's not sticking well. So I'm not too sure. I don't know if it's my prep. Either way, I have 2 things to Panabon, well, 1.5 technically, because he's so kind again. I ordered 1, he gave me another half. I already used 1, so kind of him. But I think to play it safe, ignore my ride height. To play it safe, I'm thinking I'm just gonna cover the holes with paint-a-bond. Just put a bunch of paint-a-bond right here, stick it on, and then maybe on the back side, maybe not even on these holes, maybe in the new holes or make new holes, I put those little clips like on the door. So no Type R's and Hellcats and stuff like that. They have those clips too. And hopefully I can reuse the holes for it. It'd be pretty nice. I'm also worried that if I put it right behind here, you know, it could break from the inside, which I don't think it will. But my goal is to pretty much cover this hole and then glue clips on the back side of it and go from there. Like the door piece, the hole's already there, so I'll see. I'm gonna order some clips like the door, and then just cover the holes with paint-a-bond and everything, cover the hole, and then just glue those clips on the back. So at least once I get everything painted, if the clips break, I can just replace the clip. Instead of it cracking my paint, I gotta sand and repaint-a-bond everything. Yeah, so I'm not doing all that. That way, at least I can, you know, stress-free a little bit and not worry about the paint cracking if I break a bolt. And I might do like every other hole as a clip. I feel like that's what I hate about the front of this kit. There's so much holes. And I feel like I can just get away with like every other hole. So one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. Example, like right now, I'm missing these two, but it's sitting pretty flush already. Like, I feel like I can remove some clips or remove some bolts. So, here's a great example of one. This one already broke right here. Where was it? This one broke, see? Look at that. I don't know what I did, but it broke. So, I think to play it safe, I'm going to do, instead of hidden hardware, reverse hardware. So, even this one here's a little gap right there. So now I just clip it on, and then instead I have to go under the car and do all that stuff to just put it on, just clip it on and clip it off. Now the clip's probably going to break. I know that. If I try to move it on and off. Best side, I can always glue it though. So, not the end of the world. But like I said, I have to see if I can reuse these holes and see if I want to cover these holes and then just glue it on the back. Because ideally, let me see if I have an example. It's like this example right here. So on the back side, if I can cover that hole, there is that little notch. So gluing that clip to that notch, ideally shouldn't crack on the outside. It will just break off from that little notch. So, and it's like that on every single one. So that's nice. So I'm thinking cover the holes and glue the clips on the back. And that ideally shouldn't crack the paint once it's painted. So that's the plan. So we'll see what happens, but it's gonna take a lot longer to do than I thought. You know, I might never get painted this year. We'll see. But just want to give you a little update on my failed attempt of hidden hardware. If this kit was fiberglass, life's so much easier, but it's ABS plastic, and it's not a lot of stuff that can work with plastic for the most part, except for like bumper stuff. So overall, what y'all think? I gotta put the side piece on. I literally just broke a piece, just trying to get it, trying to show you guys the example. So I'm gonna have to run it like this for a little bit, which I don't mind. Looks pretty nice. So, but let me know your guys' opinions down below. Good idea, bad idea. We gotta figure it out because with the rears, this is the crucial part because you don't want any water going in. While the fronts, we can have some water. I appreciate you guys for watching and sticking around, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Comment down below your opinions, and let's finish this car.